Okay, hope you're all having an amazing morning. I'm ready to get this day started. I don't know about you, but I am raring to go. Now, today's video is going to be on the subject of something that I've kind of been avoiding a little bit as of late. A lot of you guys have wrote in to say, hey, Glenn, you've gotten a lot better. You've gotten a lot better. And can you show us what you did to get better? And the obvious answer first is, okay, practice a lot. No, really, practice a lot. But I did learn some things along the way. But before I get into that, I just want to say, I am not a guitar teacher at all, okay? So take this all with a grain of salt. There are way more channels out there on YouTube that are far better guitar teachers than I. I would definitely go recommend checking out those guys like Garrett Peters and Robert Baker and, just everybody else who's like a very guitar-centric channel. Just to be absolutely clear here, the only reason I started practicing extensively on guitar so I could speed up my whole production process. Instead of having to schedule around other people, I can just come out here to the studio, lay something down, and move on to the next thing. It's all about quality of life for me at this point, so I figured, what the hell? I mean, this all goes back to right around 2020 when I went full-time with YouTube. I'm like, well, if I'm going to do this for real, maybe I better step up my game a little bit. So started practicing a lot. Yeah, I know, the mystery has been solved. Glenn got better on guitar by practicing. All right, so what I am going to do, though, is show you 3 things that I've applied to my own playing that have helped out massively, and you guys have definitely noticed the improvement. Let's just get started here. First and foremost is the grip. I used to play with a traditional splayed picking, and it's been so long since I've done it, I think I kind of forgot how to do it. Just even doing fast speed picking with thrash riffs and whatnot like this is just... I can't do it. They all want to curl up now because I've been practicing so hard here. So I noticed this on a number of different places. Actually, Trey Xavier was the one who pointed it out to me. He's like, look at some of these heavier hitters. They're playing with a closed fist. And you even watch James Hetfield doing rhythm tracks on the Black album. He's playing with a closed fist. So what happens there is this. Is you're playing much more aggressively. You're getting the whole arm involved. So instead of having, your hand kind of anchored here on the bridge, which is how I used to do it. Again, it just feels fucking weird like that. But instead of having my hand anchored, the whole arm is now moving. I can still... The whole thing's just that much more aggressive. And the added bonus is because we're playing harder, we're putting more output out of the guitar's pickups, and we're putting more signal into the amp, meaning we can dial back the gain ever so slightly and clean up the tone that much more because we're getting a higher gain sound. So we have to rely less on the tubes for saturation, thereby cleaning up the bottom end. At least as a studio engineer, that's the effect I'm getting. We do the same thing with overdrive pedals, when we use them for a clean, but same kind of idea. We get a less muddy sound. So by going hyper aggressive with the picking, we just wind up getting more definition, not only in the chords, but the notes and whatnot. It really helps. Again, this is a technique thing just for cleaning shit up. The problem is your whole arm is now moving, so you've really got to work on it. And like I said, it just feels alien to go back to, a traditional grip style like that. It's just, nothing makes sense anymore. The other added bonus is I got this great big ball of muscle here on my forearm that I didn't used to have before, even after playing guitar for some 25 years. I never had that. Now it's like, when I dig in here, you can see the whole forearm just flexing here. The muscle starts to bulge out, and that's just from excessive practicing like that. So that's a big one for me. If you're a metal guy, you might want to look into playing with that kind of technique. Technique 2 here is a combination of a couple of different things I learned, A, from Christian Vey, and B, from Jack Neela, my editor. Thanks so much, Jack. I was having a discussion with Christian one day about, pinch harmonics and like how he can pull them off so effortlessly. And he's like, well, take a look at the size of the pick you're using. It's fucking huge. Get something smaller so you can articulate better. And yeah, I used to play traditional size picks. I'm still a big fan of the chicken picks, but I went with the jazz size with that. And that seems to be helping. And they got that wonderful beveled edge so you can just really bite into the string. And, you know, these are great. They've definitely got a lot of resilience. But I've also really gotten into the tusk picks from Graphtec. I'm using the white jazz size 1.4 millimeter, and I really need some more because these are all starting to get worn down pretty well. But I really like these. They really allow me to get in close and really get some wonderful articulation. Cool. And yeah, like I said, I really like these. And part B is what Jack showed me is always have a finger behind your bend. You're going to get more strength that way. Because I do a lot of, you know, first finger bends and that kind of thing. And that's kind of a big no-no. If we go this way and have a finger behind the bend, just get that much more strength and precision and get my vibrato under control. Because I know a lot of you guys used to, you know, point that out. It's like, what the fuck's up with your vibrato, Glenn? Well, it turns out I just needed to get a finger behind what I was bending, and now I've got some control. So thank you very much, Christian, and thank you very much, Jack. I really do appreciate that. You guys have definitely helped me become a better player. Now, the third and most important one is something Warren Hewitt showed me back in the summer of 2020, because, you know, he's got such beautiful guitar playing technique. I'm like, dude, how the fuck do you do that? So he gave me an exercise. He gave me a pair of exercises to work on, and this is something I've mastered half of it anyway. The other half is really tough. It's all about economy of motion. He basically showed me this. So if you're at home, pay attention, because this part's really cool. This has helped me immensely with my playing. So watch closely. It's just 4 fingers on strings, but the trick is you're going to do the motion, but you have to keep your fingers anchored on the string until you need to move it. And this helps things get under control, and you can really speed shit up quite a bit once you master this. So it's really simple. And that's it. All you got to do is 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you move your next finger, make sure you leave these other 3 where they are. You're only moving the finger when it needs to move. That's it. So instead of having everything behind here, way the hell up here, it's ready to go right when you need it. And you see, when I'm going on to my first one, though, I still kind of lift my pinky up, and it's like it's something I need to get around. Ugh. And just do that up and down the fretboard, everywhere, even all the way down here. Because that'll teach you how to stretch and get your muscles trained. And this is really what it all comes down to, is muscle memory. Your body needs to learn how to make these moves consistently, accurately, and at any moment's notice. And to do that, you just need to do alternate picking and leave your fingers anchored. And this is how I warm up every day before I play. I'll do these. And I mentioned on my American Ultra review that I keep that Strat hanging around my TV. So yeah, when I'm sitting there watching Stranger Things or Vinland Saga, which I just went through, I will sit there and do this for hours on end. Just like that. And the added bonus is this builds a lot of strength in your wrist and your hands and teaches you exactly where the fingers go. Now, what this means, though, is that if you practice this relentlessly, you can really use this for building your speed. I mean, it certainly worked for me, that's for sure. All right, now I will freely admit I suffer from red light fever big time. So as soon as the record light goes on, I get a little self-conscious about my playing, and it's like, this is something I'm working on as well. It's definitely making improvements, but I've still got a very long way to go. Now, the opposite side of that exercise, the other half of that exercise that I've been working on for 2 years and I've still got an extremely long way to go, is doing the opposite. So instead of heading down, we're doing it the other way, starting here on the 6th string and working our way up. And the trick is making the notes ring out and leaving the fingers in place while you're doing your run. This is extremely difficult. And it's kind of painful, actually. And this is basically you're stretching the muscles out. And again, trying to teach your hands muscle memory so you can do it better and effortlessly. It's going to take time to master this. I've been at this for 2 years and I still completely suck at it. So I've got a very, very, very long way to go. And you know what? That's absolutely fine. I don't mind putting the time in now that I've got it. Yeah, again, this is tough. Feeling it right in here, you know, it's like, yikes, that is painful. What I want to do is when I go to Gear Street in Germany, I'm going to see how many guitar players there, you know, because that's going to be an event filled with world-class guitar players. I want to see how many of those guys can actually do this, because I've sat down with other guitar players, guys who are far better than me, and showed them that, and it's like, here, let's see you do that, and it's like, you know, it's kind of like handing a guitar player some sheet music. It's like, oh, you like noodling? Here, play this. Yeah, same thing. It's like, okay, play the ascending bit here. Obviously, I need to practice this way more. Wow, that really hurts. You know, it's like just trying to get the arm in the right place. And just trying to get the hand to stretch correctly, it's a lot of work. It's that second string. Oh, maybe I need to bring my hand back this way a little bit. Nope. The hands just don't want to do what my brain's telling it to do. Oh, and again, just feeling that in the wrist. Obviously, that's something that needs to be worked on quite a bit. Like I said, I've been at that for 2 years, and that's best I can do just offhand. I really need to put some more time in on that, that's for sure. But yeah, the descending run, not a big issue. Cool. So there you go. There's 3 very simple things that help me improve my guitar playing massively. Like I said, I'm going to be working on part B of the 3rd part there, just doing that ascending thing, and be putting some time in on that because it really needs it. And it's obviously something my hand needs to be trained to do. Now, I'm sure a bunch of you guys watching this probably have some great ideas on how else I can improve my technique. So feel free to leave a comment below, because believe me, I do try to read each and every one of those. I've definitely come across some real gems along the way. And yeah, of course, as always, this is an interactive show, and I'll put the best ones on SMG viewers' comments. Oh yeah, and if anybody's wondering about the signal chain, it's the Engel Fireball into my Happy Cab 2x12 with those wonderful 1977 Celestion Blackbacks. All right, that's it for this episode. If you found it helpful, leave a comment below, because I'll try and keep making some more tutorial videos, although I don't know how many guitar ones I'm going to be making. I'm much more of a studio guy. That being said, be sure to check out some of my Extinction Level event tutorials. If you're mixing electronic drums at home and you want to make them sound a little less robotic and a lot more natural, it's definitely worth checking those out. And by the way, if you follow the link in the description below and sign up for the Spectre digital mailing list, I'll give you 10% off your first purchase on anything on the site.